Today you'll figure out how to build a weather station using a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus and display the temperature and humidity from a LCD screen, which is in here. And so what everything is that orange is my ground, and my orange is the grounded basically. Red is my GPIO 04 on my Raspberry Pi, and red should be my data on here on my DHT11 sensor. And then brown is my VCC from my DHT11 sensor, and from the Raspberry Pi is the 3.3 volts. And basically what you do with the resistor is that you put it right there in between the red. Or don't use the same one, but maybe a little bit more helpful if you use the same colors as me. And then from there all the way to brown to act as a bridge. And also make sure when you're putting the orange in your browns, make sure you put the orange on the negative rail and the browns on the positive rail. And also make sure you put the resistor on the brown, because if you put on the orange, you will short circuit it, okay? Alright, now you should have all of your peripherals, your mouse, your keyboard, your monitor, and make sure you have the power supply plugged in as well. Oh, not yet, don't do it yet. I have it currently unplugged. And so, from the Raspberry Pi's website, download their OS onto either a USB or a SD card. A SD card is all I had. So I did that. And make sure you put Raspberry Pi 3. And make sure you do the 32-bit, because the 32-bit OS will be easier and more compatible with your DHT11 sensor and the LCD display. And so you plug this in before you turn everything on, so it can process that and just do everything correctly. And also, by the way, I'll have everything in the description. I bought everything. Everything was about $86. The most expensive thing was the Raspberry Pi, which was $35, which really isn't much if you have everything else just around. And so yeah, I'll link everything in the description, so don't worry about not being able to find it. I will do that on my Github page, because you'll likely be watching it from here. I won't post this on YouTube likely. And so yeah, plug this in before you turn it on. I'll do that off camera because I only have one hand, and I'll show you what it does when I turn it on. Alright, so I connected the boot drive to the Raspberry Pi, and so I'm going to turn it on real quick. So let me grab the power box, plug it into my surge protector. My desk is really messy, so that's my bad. But yeah, plug it in, and it should turn red. Just wait for it to boot up, basically. Make sure you have everything on. Everything is turning on, stuff. And just wait for it to do its thing. See, there we go. Should be booting up. Remember, use the 32-bit OS. Don't do the 64. 32-bit is going to be way more compatible with our stuff. Alright, so come on. It's just loading. But yeah, it's gonna flicker green, which is good, don't worry. And this shows that it's booting up. And it'll probably restart like that a couple times. It's my first time using a Raspberry Pi, but from previous experience from building computers, usually it restarts a couple of times when it boots up. So don't worry about that. That's normal. And it usually does take a little while, so don't worry about that. Probably not as long as Windows, because this isn't as big as OS. But yeah, let's just wait for it. I'll probably speed up the video if I have to, but it should be good. Yeah. Alright, so that's the Raspberry Pi set. I am in not the United Kingdom. American English, time zone. Alright, and then when you have all of your stuff done, I'm blurring this out, obviously, I don't even know I might stay and stuff, but yeah. Make sure you put everything in there, and then setting the location. It might take a little bit. This depends probably on certain aspects, maybe the speed of your drive and stuff, but you should be good. Just give it a few. Alright, so I'm gonna create my user. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, but create your username, and yeah. So I entered in my stuff. It's just a normal create your account and any other thing, and then select your Wi-Fi network. I'm gonna blur this out just for privacy and stuff. And it was my Wi-Fi network, and I am currently doing this. So choose your browser. I'm probably just gonna use my Chrome because I like using Chrome. And then yeah, take care to install it on use browser. Then yeah, I'm just gonna use Chrome for this. And yeah, it's really simple. Operating system and applications will not be checked and updated if necessary. This may involve a large download. Press next to check and update software, or skip to continue without checking. I'm just gonna press next, check for updates, because I want everything to be good. And yeah. But yeah, just make sure, I just recommend pressing next, make sure everything is good for your sensor and the LCD screen, which I haven't connected yet. I will connect that in a bit. And yes. But yeah, currently I'm just gonna have this connected for a little bit, but when I have the Wi-Fi all set up, I will then turn this off, plug that in to everything, and yeah, let's do its thing basically. So then we're gonna code it. I'm gonna set up the sensor and stuff, and basically so it can show our temperature and humidity from our sensor. Also, I may have to replace it because when I was putting the jumper wires on, I did bend it a little bit, the sensor, the blue part. Please focus. Or I guess not, but so hopefully I don't have to, but if it might not work, I don't know, hopefully it will, because I don't feel like doing all that stuff again. But it should be good though. So yeah, I'm gonna cut off, and I'm just gonna start recording again when the update's finished. Alright, the system is now up to date. Let's restart it, and so the settings can do its thing. So yeah, that shown, and then yeah, just restart it. It is now loading up now. Remember, it's gonna be blinking, so don't worry, that's completely normal. So don't worry about that. And so when we're finished setting up, like when it's booted into the OS, I shall enable SSH and also do some Github stuff, but you don't have to do that because you likely aren't gonna be uploading your project to GitHub like I am. But I'm gonna be doing that. So yeah. Alright, so hopefully I don't think I showed the IP stuff, but it should say you're connected to your Wi-Fi name, and then this should say your IP. Alright, so now I'm gonna go to my web browser. If it'll load. Bruh. So test your internet browser. I did test it and it worked. I opened like 10 tabs. It wasn't loading for some reason, but yeah, got that. And so enter in this command prompt and press enter. And you should see the screen. And you should go to, my bad, you should go to interface options. So press 3 or go down, my bad. You go to 3, and then enable SSH. Yes, let's press yes. And yeah, it is now enabled. And then just press, go to finish. There we go. You just press the right arrow keys, left and right arrow keys. And yeah, that's how you do that. That's how you enable SSH. And I will show you how to add some more libraries because we'll be using Python 3. My bad, I forgot. You got also sudo apt update. So I can update the system. So let that do its thing. So I can update and just let it do its thing. And also do the sudo apt typing with one hand is not fun. Upgrade -y. Let me make sure real quick that I am doing that correctly. Yes, I am. I'm not gonna show you my room because I have stuff in here. Yeah, upgrade, do that. So let it do its thing. It's working, it's doing its thing. I'm just gonna blur everything out because I don't want to show something I shouldn't and like get hacked or something. No. Never hurts to do that. Just I know a good amount about computers, but it never hurts to be safe. All right, so now we've upgraded it, and now I'll show you how to add the libraries because we actually updated and record. But what we're doing is installing our programming tools, and so right here, this line, install that basically. I forget what to call it, but yeah. All right, so power off since we have everything done on there for like setup wise, like setting up wise. Except for like programming it yet. Turn it off. Make sure the red and the green LEDs stop blinking. And then let's start connecting our LCD screen, okay? Alright, I've connected everything to the Raspberry Pi from the LCD screen. So what to do first is that the VCC, which is the second pin on the LCD, should go from there all the way to pin 2 on the board, which is 5 volts. And then now from the first pin of the LCD, you go all the way to the 5th pin. Yes, 5th pin, so you can ground it, because that's the ground. The 3rd pin on the LCD goes to pin 3 for GPIO 2 or 3, I forget exactly. You can search it up on the Raspberry Pi website of the diagram of the pins. And then the last one is SCL. That goes to pin 6, my bad, 6. It's for GPIO 3, and my bad, I can't read my monitor all the way from here because I can't remember, but yeah, just plug them into there and just make sure everything is still connected over here, everything's still okay. And so yeah, when you turn it on, it should turn on. If not, then I'll troubleshoot it with you. So now enter in that sudo RaspBerry config, go to interface options, and then go to I2C. It's already enabled. So I'm like, I'll press yes. Yeah, it's an error. And then yeah, just go back basically. And error finished. It should be connected now. So now to the next. So now enter in sudo apt update, so I can update it, and just let it do its thing. And then now do sudo install I2C tools. I figured out what I did wrong, so I forgot to do the apt after sudo. So make sure you do sudo apt install I2C tools, no space in between the dash, and then yeah, tools. And I should show that. Alright, now also you gotta install sudo apt python 3-pip, and it'll show that, showing that it has installed. I also forgot you gotta get your address, so do sudo I2C detect space -y space 1. So enter in pipe3 install ada dht rp lcd and then break system packages, because it will not allow you on newer Raspberry Pi versions, OS versions. They won't allow you to do this, so you gotta break the system packages. But it's only recommended if you're not doing multiple projects on your Raspberry Pi, and if you are, just create a virtual machine. So yeah, do that, let it do its thing. So it's doing its thing now. Just gotta wait for it. And just looking for it, downloading everything. And now it's done. And just collecting a lot of it. And so basically what this is, it helps us, not helps us, but it makes a library so we can import it into our code later. So now you gotta do nano weather underscore station.py. So you can create a Python file so you can actually code the stuff so this can work. So yeah. Alright, so here's the code. Take a picture of it, screenshot, whatever. I put it up here for a little bit. Make sure you write everything down exactly as it is so you don't get any errors. And yeah, after this I'll show you how to run it, because you don't run it by pressing any of these. You gotta exit and then write command, which I'll show you how to do. Command is python 3 weather underscore station.py. The weather underscore station is just the name of the file, so whatever you named it, just put that here and put .py after it, and that should work. Alright, and so the command to start the code is python 3 and weather state, well, not weather station, but your name of it, and then .py. And you just press enter. It might take a couple seconds, and boom, it should show up on your LCD screen. Also, make sure, very much make sure, add hours of troubleshooting, just because there's a little issue. Make sure you put your data jumper wire onto the right one, which is your 7th pin, okay? Make sure you do that, because I spent hours troubleshooting just to find out it was that little mistake, okay? So that's how you do it. I hope you learned something. I certainly did, so yeah, see ya. Also, make sure that your DHT11 sensor doesn't already have a built-in resistor. Mine did. So just make sure that if it does, you don't have to do the breadboard. You just got to directly plug it into the Raspberry Pi. And if it doesn't, just do the breadboard method like I did, like I showed in the video. And also, if you're not sure, just search it up online, search the model number and the brand name of your DHT11 sensor, and you'll likely figure it out. It'll likely tell you, which it did for me. So just make sure, it'll make life a lot easier. See ya.